You awake in the morning and feel it before your feet touch the ground, a heavy, low pressure. It's not really painful though. It's closer to a hum of disappointment. You review your life like a mental checklist and ask yourself, why am I not further along by now? Behind in your work, behind in relationships, behind financially, emotionally, spiritually, behind everything. Everyone else appears to be speeding ahead while you're moving in slowly. The pressure of not being enough is quiet but crushing. But what if that story, the story that you're behind, isn't true? What if you're not coming up short? You're just living a life that isn't truly yours. It's not always a failure. Sometimes it's a misalignment. From the time we're young, there's a subtle roadmap we're all handed. Go to school, pick a safe career, get a job, find a partner, buy a house, have kids, work hard, retire. The path is presented like a standard. Stay on it and you'll be successful. So you try to do it, even when it's forced, even when that good job leaves you exhausted, even when the relationship feels like a performance. You continue walking the path because getting off of it feels dangerous, wrong, rebellious. The irony? The other half of those who appear to have it all together are quietly struggling with the very same internal misalignment. But we never say it aloud. We merely compare, perform, post, and repeat. Here's the truth. If you're living someone else's definition of success, well, you may execute it. However, it will never feel like home. Behind is the most deceptive word in the English language. Behind what? A timeline you didn't create? A made-up benchmark someone else established? We pretend like life is a straight race, like there's a beginning line and an ending line, and we're all just supposed to hit certain milestones at certain times. But life isn't linear, development isn't linear, timing is not universal. Some people meet the love of their life at 19, others meet them at 57. Some people find their dream job early, and some discover it after 3 career changes. There's no fixed track, just personal timing. Flowers bloom at different times. That doesn't make the late bloomers broken, it makes them part of nature. You're not behind, you're not late, you're on your own schedule. If you've been tired for no reason at all, annoyed at things that didn't used to irritate you, perpetually unmotivated, or like you're just going through the motions, you're not alone. That's not laziness. It's not a weakness. It's not a failure. That's misalignment. It's your body and mind saying something about this life doesn't fit anymore. You might be extremely talented, organized, and intelligent, but if your daily routine is misaligned with your core values or natural energy, you will always feel trapped. Similar to driving a car with wheels slightly out of alignment, it still moves on, but it pulls and jolts and wears down over the long haul. Alignment isn't about being perfect. It's about matching your energy, values, and purpose to your daily decisions. When that doesn't happen, burnout shows up. Not because you're broken, but because you're running in a direction that doesn't feel true. Realignment doesn't mean a drastic life transformation. You don't have to leave your job, sell all your belongings, or take a plane to another world. Usually it begins with quiet. Being quiet enough to ask yourself the questions you haven't been asking. What feels natural in my life, and what feels forced? What did I enjoy doing before I was instructed on what to enjoy? How long has it been since I last felt alive, rather than just operational? If nobody was watching, what would I do differently? These questions don't require immediate resolution. The intention is to create space for them to emerge. Allow them to bubble in the periphery as you go about your day. In the passage of time, they begin to lead you back to yourself, not the self you put on, but the self in wait. We are a society that worships speed. Faster is better. If you're not going fast enough, there must be something wrong. So we hustle. Push, fill every available minute. Plan productivity. Even resting becomes a task to maximize. And here's the irony. The speed at which you move when being out of alignment, the more you are going to move away from yourself. Sometimes you need to slow down in order to catch up, not to the world's clock, but to your own inner beat. You may think, I don't have time to stop. But the truth is, you don't have time to continue living out of alignment. It's okay to go slow. It's okay to take time to sort things. That's slowing down. That's stopping. It could be the most productive thing you've ever done. This is something we don't discuss often. Growth doesn't necessarily feel like success. Oftentimes it will feel like a loss, like releasing, like loneliness, like not knowing. So if you feel out of touch with things you once loved, continue to question the life you've created. They are attracted to quieter, simpler things. Feel a longing for something more authentic, even if you can't put your finger on it. That doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're waking up. You're beginning to feel the distinction between an impressive life and a fulfilling life, between a packed schedule and an awakened soul. And that discomfort you're feeling, that's the tension between the life you've constructed and the life you've been designed to live. When we imagine breakthroughs, we envision something dramatic, something bold, something radical. But often, actual alignment appears quietly, a choice that is peaceful, not showy. A yes that feels effortless, not burdensome. A slight tweak in how you spend your morning, and suddenly the entire day is altered. The world may never know, you may not even be able to tell, but something within you will sense. This is right. Don't look for the big sign. Look for the small whispers. Let's debunk one final myth, that your timeline is supposed to resemble anyone else's. The fact is, your journey is customized. You aren't supposed to be farther along. You're exactly where you're supposed to be for the things you're supposed to learn. There's no too late. There's no ideal timetable. There's only one now. You can outgrow things. You can begin again. You can change your mind. And no matter how off track you may feel, you can get back on course. Not by running to catch up, but by getting back to what truly matters. If you've been holding your breath, tensing up each day, let this be your permission to breathe out. You don't have to perform worthiness. You don't have to outrun shame. You don't have to construct a life that only appears good from the outside. Do this instead. Disconnect for an hour. No screens, no noise. Go outside. Walk. Listen to your thoughts. Write down what you're exhausted from faking. List 5 things that bring you to life. Choose one. Do it. Today, not someday. Small shifts build huge momentum. You don't need a new life. You need a real one. You're not behind. You're just misaligned. And that's not a death sentence. It's an invitation to stop, to shift, to come home to yourself. So if this resonated with something in you, take it as a sign. Not a sign to move quickly, but a sign to move authentically. Your alignment is more important than your appearance. And if you like this kind of content, more honest conversations, more reminders that you're not broken, hang around. More is on the way. Your journey is unrolling, and you're right on schedule.